Heroes of the Seven Islands has just landed on September 9th, and it's a fascinating throwback to the golden age of 90s RPGs. Think Might and Magic meets Darkest Dungeon with a dash of point-and-click adventure charm. It's quirky, challenging, and unlike anything I've played, and yes, it's entirely the work of a solo dev and it's published by Two Left Thumbs, publisher of games like Dead State or Picayune Dreams. He's also a YouTuber that recently started publishing video games. He has like 20 upcoming releases that also look very promising. But coming back to Heroes of the Seven Islands, the best way to understand this game is to look at how it actually plays. This is a hybrid RPG at its core, classic turn-based combat and non-linear adventure, and that old-school point-and-click exploration vibe. My playthrough lasted about 6 hours, and during that time I learned that team choice at the beginning is absolutely crucial. You can randomize for a clever mix of magic and force, but I went rogue and built a non-magic squad. Let's just say some islands didn't forgive me for that. Combat itself is quick and straightforward, not overly complex, but if you are under-leveled, it punishes you hard. The fights can feel repetitive later on, though I eventually leaned into that auto-battler rhythm and found the last islands went faster that way. Of course, combat is only half of the journey. The real magic happens in the quest and exploration. Exploration, however, is where this game shines. Each of the 7 islands, Azure, Bandit, Cadaver, Desert, Escape, Frost, and Giant, feels like a distinct biome. Moving between them is fast and easy, but also strategic, since you are spending money and days each time you travel. The world rewards careful planning. The adventure is non-linear, so you're never rushed toward the main quest. In fact, the side quests often feel more fun and creative. Some are fresh, funny, and surprisingly challenging. The point-and-click investigation element is extremely rewarding. Taking the time to find the hidden objects, money, or secret spots really pays off. And since the final score depends on factors like how many places you have visited and how efficiently you finish, wasting time isn't really an option. Now, let's talk about the part that will either make you laugh or scratch your head: the visuals. Visually, this game is something else. Every asset started as a hand-drawn sketch on paper, then scanned, colored and animated digitally. The result is an art style that's funny, sometimes even stupid in the best possible way, and absolutely unique. It's unlike any RPG I've played before. Another unique RPG I've played recently is Velvet. Take a look at that game too, super good. As it's a gameplay screen with a static frame all the time, the game has this nice feature where you get to choose if you want dark or white backgrounds, giving the player the option to choose. And while the audio isn't the star of the show, it complements the adventure well enough to keep you immersed. But graphics and sound aside, what really keeps you hooked is the progression system. Upgrading your heroes feels incredibly satisfying. You are constantly finding new ways to improve them. Better equipment, NPCs that improve your skills, hidden secrets, or just grinding out levels. With a character system reminiscent of classic RPGs, you can recruit barbarians, thieves, mags, and many more. And the variety really matters. Different teams make for very different experiences. So with all that said, let's break down the good and the not so good. On the plus side, the islands are varied and exciting to explore. Quests feel fresh and side quests often steal the spotlight. Progression is rewarding and flexible. The art style is hilarious, unique and handcrafted. The game is long enough to keep you satisfied, but not boring anytime. And yes, you can literally play this game while taking care of a baby. I'm proof of that. All you need is a mouse. On the downside, combat can feel repetitive in the late game. If you don't balance your party well, the game can punish you harshly. And while traveling between islands is fast, it does sometimes feel like a resource tax. Still, what matters most is the overall experience, so here's my verdict. Heroes of the Seven Islands is not your typical RPG launch. It's a weird, charming experiment that combines nostalgia with fresh ideas. If you grew up on Might and Magic and love the team-building depth of Darkest Dungeon, this is a hidden gem worth checking out. For me, it's a 6-hour adventure that was equal parts exciting, funny, and genuinely rewarding. Not perfect, but absolutely memorable. And that's more than I can say for most releases these days. And here's the thing I love the most. This entire experience came from one solo developer. Hand-drawn sketches turned into an RPG with 7 islands, dozens of characters and a ton of personality. That's the magic of indie games. They surprise you, they take risks, and sometimes they give you something no big studio would dare to make. So whether Heroes of the Seven Islands becomes your new obsession or just a quickie weekend adventure, it's worth celebrating. Because every time we support projects like this, we are not just playing a game, we are helping keep the spirit of creativity alive in this industry.